There is a silent moment in every life that almost no one notices when it happens. It doesn't come with a warning. It doesn't announce itself as failure. It doesn't arrive with collapse or tragedy. It arrives as tolerance. Tolerance for disorder. Tolerance for distraction. Tolerance for postponing what matters. That is the moment chaos enters, not violently, but politely. At first, it looks harmless. You miss a plan one day, you delay a task, you let your environment slip. You tell yourself you'll organize everything later when life slows down, but life never slows down. Chaos grows in the space between intention and action. Most people believe their lives fall apart because of bad luck, difficult circumstances, or external pressure. But if you look closely, something else is happening. Their lives are not collapsing, they are dissolving, day by day, minute by minute, decision by decision. Order is not about control for control's sake. Order is about clarity. When your life lacks order, your mind is forced into constant reaction mode. Every small decision becomes a burden. What should I do first? What deserves my attention? What can I ignore? What did I forget again? These questions never stop, and the mind was never designed to live like this. A disorganized life keeps the brain in a permanent state of low-level stress, not enough to trigger panic, just enough to drain energy. That's why so many people feel tired without doing anything meaningful, why they feel overwhelmed even on calm days, why they feel behind even when they are busy. Busyness is not productivity, movement is not progress. Chaos creates motion without direction. Order creates direction without exhaustion. Napoleon Hill observed this pattern repeatedly while studying failure and success. People didn't fail because they lacked dreams. They failed because their lives were too disordered to support those dreams. Dreams require structure. You cannot build anything lasting on a foundation of chaos. Think about your environment, the space you wake up in, the space you work in, the digital space you live inside. Every object you see pulls on your attention. Every unfinished task whispers to your mind. Every distraction fractures your focus. Attention is not infinite. It is a limited resource. When attention is scattered, power leaks. Disorder is not neutral. It actively works against you. It steals time. It steals energy. It steals clarity. And worst of all, it steals self-trust. When you constantly postpone, when you constantly improvise, when you constantly react, your mind learns something dangerous. It learns that your intentions don't matter. Over time, you stop believing your own promises. You stop trusting your own plans. You stop respecting your own goals. And without self-trust, discipline collapses. Order rebuilds the trust. Every small act of organization is a signal to the mind, a signal that says, I am in control. Control is not domination. Control is alignment. When your actions align with your priorities, peace follows. When they don't, anxiety grows. Chaos creates internal noise. Order creates silence, and silence is where thinking becomes sharp again. This is why people who live in disorder struggle to think clearly. Their minds are too busy managing clutter. Mental clutter is born from physical clutter, digital clutter, and emotional clutter. You cannot separate them. A chaotic environment trains a chaotic mind. A chaotic schedule trains chaotic thinking, and chaotic thinking leads to poor decisions. Poor decisions compound. That is how lives drift far away from where they were supposed to go. Not because of one big mistake, but because of thousands of small, unstructured moments. Order stops the drift. Order anchors you. It forces you to choose what matters and abandon what doesn't. That abandonment is painful at first, because chaos feels like freedom. You can do anything, at any time, in any order, but that freedom is an illusion. Real freedom comes from constraints. When your life has structure, your mind relaxes, because it no longer has to decide everything constantly. Structure removes unnecessary choice, and unnecessary choice is mental poison. When everything is possible, nothing is finished. Order gives your energy a direction to flow, and energy that flows consistently becomes momentum. Momentum is what changes lives. Chaos consumes momentum. Order multiplies it. This is why disciplined people appear powerful even when they are tired. They are not relying on emotion. They are relying on systems. Systems do not care how you feel. They move you forward anyway. When your life is ordered, you no longer ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" You ask, "Is this aligned with what I decided matters?" That single shift separates leaders from drifters. Drifters live by impulse, leaders live by decision, and decisions require structure to survive. If you do not order your life deliberately, something else will do it for you. Other people's priorities, other people's demands, other people's noise. Chaos never stays empty. It fills itself, and it never fills itself in your favor. The tragedy is that chaos feels normal once you live inside it long enough. You stop noticing the tension, you stop noticing the fatigue, you stop noticing the slow decay of focus. Until one day you wake up older, more tired, and further away from your potential than you ever imagined. That moment hurts, but it is also an invitation, because order can be rebuilt at any point. Not all at once, not perfectly, but deliberately. The decision to bring order is the decision to reclaim authorship of your life. In the next part, we will go deeper into the hidden cost of disorder, how it silently kills ambition, delays destiny, and convinces people that they are broken, when in reality, they are simply living without structure. That realization changes everything. There is a moment when chaos stops being something around you and becomes something inside you. There is a point where disorder stops being a situation and becomes a self-image. At first, chaos feels temporary. You tell yourself you're just going through a phase, that things will settle down once you have more time, more money, more energy, more clarity. But time passes, and the phase becomes a lifestyle. This is how disorder quietly wins, not through collapse, but through normalization. You wake up surrounded by unfinished tasks, delayed plans, scattered priorities, and instead of feeling alarm, you feel familiarity. Chaos becomes home. Your brain adapts to survive in it. Humans are extraordinarily adaptable creatures. That is our strength, but it is also our weakness. The mind can adapt to clarity, and it can adapt to confusion. When confusion lasts long enough, the nervous system stops seeing it as a problem and starts seeing it as normal. This is where danger begins. Because once disorder feels normal, order feels threatening. Structure feels restrictive. Routines feel oppressive. Planning feels exhausting, not because order is bad, but because it exposes what chaos has been hiding. Disorder hides inefficiency. It hides fear. It hides indecision. Order reveals them. This is why so many people resist organization with surprising intensity. They say they want control, but subconsciously, they fear what control will demand. Control demands ownership. If your life is disorganized, you can blame circumstances. If your life is ordered and still stagnant, you must blame yourself. That accountability terrifies the ego. So the mind protects itself by reframing disorder as identity. I'm just not that kind of person. I work better under pressure. I don't like rigid systems. I need chaos to be creative. These statements feel true because they soothe discomfort. But comfort is not truth. They are psychological shields. They prevent you from confronting a harder reality, that the chaos is not helping you. It is slowly draining you. Disorder drains energy invisibly. Every unfinished task consumes mental space. Every unplanned day increases cognitive load. Every vague goal creates background stress. Your mind is constantly juggling open loops, and open loops exhaust the brain. This is why disorganized lives often feel mentally heavy even when nothing dramatic is happening. You are tired, but you can't explain why, unmotivated, but not depressed, restless, but not energized. It's not a lack of ambition, it's a lack of closure. Order closes loops. When your environment is ordered, your brain relaxes. When your schedule is structured, your nervous system calms. When priorities are clear, decisions become easier. Disorder does the opposite. It keeps you in a constant state of low-grade alert. Your body thinks something is always wrong, and when the body feels unsafe, growth shuts down. Creativity disappears. Focus shortens. Risk tolerance drops. You begin to avoid big goals, not because you don't want them, but because they feel overwhelming inside a chaotic system. Big dreams require stable containers. Disorder cannot hold them. This is why many people downgrade their ambitions over time, not consciously, gradually. They stop dreaming boldly and start hoping vaguely. They replace goals with wishes, because wishes don't require structure, but wishes also don't change lives. Order forces specificity, specific times, specific actions, specific priorities, and specificity is uncomfortable. It leaves no room for self-deception. Chaos allows you to feel busy without moving forward. Order demands progress. This is why chaos is emotionally attractive. It offers movement without accountability. You can say you tried, you can say you were overwhelmed, you can say you were doing your best. Order doesn't accept excuses. It asks one simple question every day. Did you do what mattered? That question is powerful and terrifying. Most people would rather drown it out with noise. Noise is everywhere now. Endless information, endless entertainment, endless distraction. Noise feeds disorder, and disorder feeds noise. Together, they create a loop that keeps people stuck while feeling occupied. You scroll because you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed because your life lacks structure. Your life lacks structure because you avoid the discomfort of organization. This loop is subtle. It doesn't feel like failure. It feels like survival. And survival mode becomes identity. People in survival mode pride themselves on resilience, on endurance, on getting through hard days. But survival is not success. Survival is what you do when you lack systems. Order is what allows you to move beyond survival. When you organize your life, you stop reacting and start directing. You decide when things happen instead of letting them ambush you. That shift changes everything, because direction restores dignity. When you direct your life, you feel capable again. You feel grounded. You feel intentional. This is why order increases self-respect. Not because it makes you productive, but because it makes you reliable. You begin to trust your own decisions. You stop negotiating with yourself endlessly. You say you'll do something, and it gets done. That alignment between intention and action builds confidence faster than any motivational speech ever could. Chaos erodes that alignment. In chaos, promises to yourself are broken constantly, not out of malice, out of disorganization. And every broken promise weakens self-trust. Over time, you stop believing in your own plans. You stop committing fully. Why bother if nothing sticks? Order rebuilds that trust brick by brick. Small routines, clear schedules, defined boundaries. None of it is dramatic, but all of it is powerful. This is why people who adopt order often describe a strange internal quiet. Their minds are no longer screaming in 10 directions at once. They know what today is for. They know what tomorrow will bring. That certainty is not boring. It is liberating. Without order, you live in constant reaction. Other people's emergencies become your priorities. Other people's agendas consume your time. You become available to everything except your own future. Order draws lines. It says no. And saying no is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect. Disorder says yes to everything by default. And yes drains you. Order teaches you restraint. Restraint creates focus. Focus creates momentum. Momentum changes lives. This is the chain most people never build because they never start with order. They chase motivation, they chase inspiration, they chase shortcuts, but none of those survive chaos. Only systems do, and systems require order. If disorder has shaped how you see yourself, understand this. Identity is not fixed. It is reinforced. What you repeat becomes who you are. If you repeat chaos, you become chaotic. If you repeat structure, you become disciplined. Not overnight. Gradually, and gradually is enough. In the next block, we will confront the most brutal consequence of disorder. How chaos steals time invisibly, compresses failure into years, and why the organized mind can achieve in months what the disorganized mind postpones forever. This is where the true cost becomes undeniable. At first, disorder is external. A messy room, a cluttered schedule, a day that escapes your control. But if it lasts long enough, something more dangerous happens. Your mind adapts. It begins to treat confusion as normal, urgency as permanent, distraction as identity. You stop saying, "My life is disorganized," and unconsciously begin to live as someone who is disorganized. This is where most people lose the battle without realizing it, because once disorder becomes identity, change feels like betrayal. You start believing this is just how you are, that you are bad with routines, that structure doesn't work for you, that discipline is for other people. These are not facts, they are coping narratives. The human mind is incredibly good at protecting itself from discomfort. And one of the ways it does that is by turning failure into personality. It's easier to say, "I'm just not organized," than to face the discomfort of becoming organized. Because order demands accountability. Order exposes gaps. Order removes excuses. Order makes results measurable. Chaos hides everything. In chaos, effort feels heroic even when nothing changes. In order, results speak for themselves. That is why chaos is seductive. It allows you to feel busy without being effective. It allows you to feel overwhelmed without being responsible. It allows you to delay without admitting fear. Disorder creates emotional cover. But the cost of that cover is brutal. When disorder becomes identity, ambition weakens, goals shrink, vision fades. Not because you stop wanting more, but because wanting without structure becomes exhausting. Hope without systems turns into frustration. This is why people trapped in disorder often feel a strange mix of desire and paralysis. They want change deeply, but the thought of organizing their life feels overwhelming, because organization feels like starting over. And starting over threatens the identity built around survival. Chaos survivors learn to be reactive. They become excellent at handling emergencies, at improvising, at adapting, but they never build, because builders need stability. You cannot construct a future when every day is an emergency. Disorder forces the brain into short-term thinking. You focus on what's urgent, not what's important. You solve today's fires while tomorrow burns quietly in the background. And over time, tomorrow becomes regret. Order reverses this. Order stretches your time horizon. When your life has structure, your brain can finally look ahead. It can plan, it can prioritize, it can sacrifice now for later. This is why disciplined people often seem calmer. Their minds are not trapped in constant triage. They know what matters. They know when it will be handled. They know what can wait. That certainty is powerful. Disorder steals certainty. And without certainty, confidence collapses. You may not notice it consciously, but your body does. Disordered lives create constant low-level anxiety, not panic, just tension, a feeling that something is always pending, something is always late, something is always slipping. The tension accumulates. It turns into irritability, mental fog, loss of motivation. People often mistake this for burnout or depression, but many times it is simply the psychological weight of disorder. Your mind is tired of holding too many loose ends. Order ties them. When you bring order to your life, you reduce cognitive load. You free mental energy. That energy doesn't disappear. It becomes creativity, focus, drive. This is why organization feels uncomfortable at first, but empowering later. At the beginning, order feels restrictive. You must decide. You must commit. You must eliminate. But once the structure is built, it carries you. Think of order as scaffolding. At first, it looks rigid, limiting, temporary. But without it, nothing tall can stand. Chaos feels free, but it collapses under its own weight. Order feels strict, but it creates space. This is the paradox most people never understand. They chase freedom through disorder and end up enslaved by it. True freedom comes from order. When your life is ordered, your time belongs to you. Your energy belongs to you. Your attention belongs to you. Without order, all three are stolen constantly. By notifications, by other people's priorities, by unplanned demands, and every theft is small enough to ignore until years are gone. Order forces you to confront reality, how much time you actually have, how much energy you actually waste, how many goals you keep alive without moving toward them. This confrontation hurts, but it is necessary, because clarity always precedes power. You cannot change what you refuse to measure. Order measures. It turns vague dissatisfaction into visible gaps. And once gaps are visible, they can be closed. Disorder keeps everything vague. That vagueness is comfortable. But comfort is expensive. It costs potential. It costs momentum. It costs self-respect. Self-respect is built through consistency, and consistency requires structure. This is why people who organize their lives often experience a quiet internal shift. They begin to trust themselves again. When you plan and execute, even imperfectly, something changes. You prove to yourself that your intentions matter, that your word has weight, that your future is not accidental. That proof is addictive in the best way. It creates an upward spiral. Order leads to action. Action leads to results. Results reinforce discipline. Chaos does the opposite. Chaos leads to delay. Delay leads to guilt. Guilt weakens motivation. That spiral pulls people down slowly. And because it's slow, they blame everything else. The economy, other people, bad timing. Rarely do they look at structure, because structure feels unglamorous. But structure is everything. Every strong mind you admire operates inside a system. Every productive person you respect lives by routines. Every long-term success rests on order, not talent, not luck. Order. If disorder has shaped your identity, it can be reshaped, but not through motivation. Motivation fades. Only systems remain. In the next part, we will examine how time collapses inside disorganized lives, why chaos steals years invisibly, and how reclaiming structure allows ordinary people to compress progress into months instead of decades. This is where urgency becomes real. Most people believe they lose time because life is busy. That is not true. They lose time because their lives are unstructured. Busyness is not the enemy. Disorder is. Time is not stolen in dramatic moments. It is drained quietly, invisibly, through small acts of disorganization repeated every day. A missed plan, a delayed task, a vague priority, an unplanned morning. Each one feels insignificant. Together, they erase years. This is why people wake up one day shocked at how fast life passed. They didn't waste time consciously. They leaked it. Disorder creates leaks. Every moment spent deciding what to do next is time already lost. Every interruption pulls you out of focus and forces your brain to restart. Every unfinished task follows you mentally, even when you're resting. The disorganized mind is never fully present. It is always half in the past, worrying about what wasn't done, and half in the future, anxious about what might be forgotten. The present moment disappears, and time only exists in the present. This is the cruel irony. The more chaotic your life becomes, the less you actually live it. You are always rushing, yet never arriving. Order changes how time behaves, not literally, psychologically. When your day is planned, your mind relaxes. When your priorities are clear, decisions become automatic. When routines are established, effort decreases. You move faster because you waste less mental energy. This is why organized people seem to have more time. They don't, they just lose less of it. Chaos forces you to renegotiate your life every single day. What should I do first? What can wait? What matters most? These questions drain energy. Order answers them in advance. This frees your mind for execution, not deliberation. Decision fatigue is real. The brain has a limited capacity for choices. When that capacity is exhausted, quality collapses. You procrastinate. You choose comfort. You abandon difficult tasks. Disorder multiplies decisions. Order eliminates them. That is power. This is why disciplined people can maintain momentum even when motivation fades. They don't rely on feelings, they rely on structure. Chaos makes everything feel urgent and nothing feel important. Order clarifies hierarchy, and hierarchy is how the brain understands meaning. Without hierarchy, everything feels heavy. With hierarchy, weight distributes properly. This is why people living in chaos feel overwhelmed by tasks that would be manageable inside a structured system. The tasks themselves are not the problem. The lack of container is. A disorganized life cannot hold responsibility. It spills. Responsibility becomes stress instead of purpose, and stress distorts perception. Under stress, time feels compressed. Days blur. Weeks disappear. People say, I don't know where the time went. It went nowhere. It dissolved inside disorder. Order slows subjective time. You remember your days more clearly, you experience moments fully, you feel progress. Progress anchors memory, chaos erases it. This is why periods of chaos feel empty in retrospect. You lived, but you don't remember living. Because memory forms around intention. When your actions are intentional, your brain records them as meaningful. When actions are reactive, the brain discards them. They are noise. Disorder fills life with noise. Order creates signal. Signal gives direction. Direction gives meaning. This is not philosophical abstraction. It is neurological reality. The brain is a prediction machine. It needs patterns. Routines reduce uncertainty. Reduced uncertainty frees cognitive resources. Those resources can be used to think, plan, create, and grow. Chaos keeps the brain in survival mode. Survival mode cannot build a future. It can only maintain the present. This is why disorganized people stay stuck even when they work hard. Effort without structure is friction. Effort with structure becomes leverage. Leverage compresses time. This is how some people achieve in months what others postpone for decades, not because they are smarter, but because their time is aligned. Alignment multiplies results. Chaos disperses them. Every hour in chaos costs more than 60 minutes because it creates residue. Mental residue follows you into the next task. You never fully reset. Order creates clean transitions. End of task, beginning of next. That clarity compounds. Without it, everything overlaps. Your mind is always cluttered. Clutter kills clarity. Clarity accelerates execution. This is why people living in disorder feel constantly behind. Because they are, not behind others. Behind themselves, they are late to their own lives. Time does not forgive disorder. It does not wait for clarity. It keeps moving. And if you don't decide how it is used, it will be consumed by whatever demands it first. Notifications, requests, distractions, other people's priorities. Order defends your time. Chaos exposes it. This is why boundaries are impossible without structure. You cannot protect what you haven't defined. Disorder leaves everything undefined. Undefined time is available time. Available time is vulnerable time. It gets taken. Order defines blocks. This hour is for work. This hour is for rest. This space is for focus. This space is for recovery. Definition creates ownership. Ownership creates control. Control restores agency. Agency is the foundation of self-respect. When you lose control of time, you lose respect for yourself. You feel powerless. You feel reactive. You feel small. Order reverses that. Even small acts of organization restore power. Planning tomorrow tonight, preparing clothes in advance, writing tasks instead of holding them mentally. These actions are not about productivity. They are about reclaiming authority over your life. Authority changes posture. It changes how you speak, how you decide, how you carry yourself. Chaos makes people tentative. Order makes them grounded. This grounding affects everything: career, relationships, health. A person who controls time is difficult to manipulate. They are not rushed. They are not desperate. They do not act from panic. They move deliberately. That deliberateness is intimidating in a world addicted to speed. Most people don't lack time. They lack command. Command begins with order. In the next block, we will confront the psychological resistance to order, why the mind fights structure, how comfort sabotages discipline, and why chaos often feels easier than control, even when it is destroying your future. This is where the internal battle truly begins. If order is so powerful, the real question becomes uncomfortable. Why do people resist it so strongly? Why does structure feel heavy, restrictive, even suffocating to so many, while chaos, which drains them, feels familiar and strangely comforting? The answer is not laziness. It is psychology. Order forces confrontation. Chaos allows avoidance. The human mind seeks comfort before it seeks truth, and comfort does not mean pleasure. Comfort means predictability. Chaos, when repeated long enough, becomes predictable. You know what to expect from disorder: missed deadlines, last-minute stress, rushed mornings, unfinished goals. It's painful but familiar. Order introduces uncertainty. If you organize your life and still fail, there is nowhere left to hide. That possibility threatens the ego, so the ego fights back. It reframes order as oppression. It tells you structure will kill creativity, that routines will make life dull, that planning is for boring people. These are not rational arguments. They are emotional defenses. Creativity does not die in structure. It dies in exhaustion, and chaos exhausts relentlessly. Structure protects energy. Energy fuels creativity. This is why disciplined artists, writers, athletes, and thinkers consistently outperform chaotic ones, not because they are less creative, but because they are less depleted. The mind also resists order because order demands delay of gratification. Chaos offers immediate relief. When you avoid planning, you feel lighter temporarily. When you ignore organization, you escape discomfort momentarily. Order asks you to feel discomfort now to gain peace later. The modern mind is not trained for this. It is trained for instant relief. Scroll, snack, distract, delay. Discipline feels unnatural in an environment built on stimulation. So the mind rebels. It whispers excuses. Tomorrow, later, after this. Those words are dangerous. They feel harmless, but they slowly erode authority. Each time you delay action, your brain learns that intentions are optional, and intentions without execution rot. Chaos thrives where intentions decay. Order demands follow-through. Follow-through builds identity. Identity shapes destiny. This is why order feels like an attack on who you think you are. If you see yourself as spontaneous, emotional, reactive, then structure threatens that identity. But identity is not sacred. It is flexible and often outdated. You are not who you were when chaos first took hold, but chaos convinces you that you are. Order threatens the story you tell yourself about why your life is the way it is. It removes excuses. It removes ambiguity. It demands clarity. And clarity is terrifying because it exposes truth. Many people say they want clarity, but they fear what clarity will reveal. It might reveal that some goals were never pursued seriously, that some habits were never challenged, that some distractions were chosen deliberately. Chaos blurs responsibility. Order sharpens it. This is why people will clean their homes before guests arrive, but not organize their lives for themselves. Visibility creates accountability. Order makes your inner life visible, and visibility is uncomfortable. There is also a deeper layer. Chaos keeps you busy. Order makes you still. Stillness brings awareness. Awareness brings reflection. Reflection brings difficult questions. Am I living intentionally? Am I avoiding something? Am I afraid of committing fully? These questions emerge when noise disappears. Chaos keeps them buried. Order excavates them. Many people are not afraid of effort. They are afraid of honesty. Order forces honesty. With your time, with your habits, with your priorities. It exposes misalignment, and misalignment is painful to see. So the mind prefers distraction. Distraction numbs. Order awakens. Awakening is rarely comfortable at first. This is why the beginning of discipline often feels heavy, not because it is wrong, but because it is unfamiliar. Your nervous system has adapted to chaos. It must be retrained. Retraining always feels like resistance. The same happens in physical training. Muscles resist unfamiliar movement. The brain resists unfamiliar structure. Resistance is not a signal to stop. It is a signal of change. People misinterpret resistance as proof that order is unnatural. It is proof that disorder has been normalized. The mind also resists order because order limits options. Chaos keeps everything possible. Order forces choices, and choices close doors. The human mind hates closing doors. It wants infinite potential, but infinite potential produces paralysis. Nothing happens. Order closes doors so that something can happen. This is why successful people are decisive. They choose paths. They accept trade-offs. They stop keeping every option alive. They understand that commitment is power. Chaos preserves possibility. Order produces reality. Reality requires sacrifice. Sacrifice feels like loss, but it is not loss. It is investment. The resistance to order is often strongest right before transformation. This is when the mind throws everything it has at you. Doubt, fatigue, discomfort, rationalizations. If you interpret these signals correctly, they become confirmation. You are approaching something meaningful. If order were easy, everyone would live deliberately. They don't, because most people never push through the psychological barrier. They retreat back into chaos. Chaos welcomes them. It asks nothing. Order asks everything, but gives more. This is the paradox. Short-term pain for long-term control. Short-term effort for long-term freedom. True freedom is not the absence of structure. It is the presence of self-command. Chaos removes command. Order restores it. In the next block, we will reach the turning point. How to move from awareness to action. How order, once established, compounds into momentum. and why a structured life does not limit freedom, but creates a form of power most people never experience. This is where discipline becomes identity. There comes a moment when order stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like strength. That moment changes everything. At first, structure feels artificial, forced, unnatural. But then something subtle happens. Your mind begins to trust you. When you wake up and do what you planned yesterday, your brain registers authority. When you finish what you start, even when it's uncomfortable, something internal realigns. You are no longer negotiating with yourself. You are commanding yourself. This is where order transforms into power. Power is not domination over others. It is mastery over self. Most people never experience it. They live in constant negotiation. I'll do it later. Tomorrow. When I feel ready. That internal debate drains energy. Order eliminates debate. Decisions are already made. Energy is preserved. Clarity emerges. When your day is structured, your mind is quieter. Not because life is easier, but because uncertainty has been reduced. Chaos forces constant decision-making. What to do next? What matters now? What can wait? Order answers those questions in advance, and the mind relaxes when it knows the plan. This is why disciplined people often appear calm, not because they have fewer problems, but because they have fewer unresolved decisions. Order turns time into an ally. Instead of time chasing you, you direct it. Instead of reacting, you execute. Instead of surviving days, you shape them. This is where momentum begins. Momentum is not motivation. It is movement compounded. When actions are repeated consistently, effort decreases. What once required force becomes automatic. Order rewires identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You become someone who does. This identity shift is crucial because behavior follows identity, not intention. Once you see yourself as disciplined, order sustains itself. You no longer rely on willpower. Systems carry you forward, and systems do not get tired. Chaos requires constant energy to maintain. Order requires energy only at the beginning. After that, it multiplies energy. This is the hidden advantage. Order compresses time, progress accelerates. What once took years begins to take months. Not because you move faster, but because you stop moving backward. Chaos creates invisible leaks, small distractions, unfinished tasks, mental clutter. Order seals those leaks. Energy that was once wasted becomes available. Focus sharpens. Confidence grows quietly, not arrogance. Confidence rooted in evidence. You begin to trust your word. When you say you will do something, you do it. That builds self-respect. Self-respect changes posture. Posture changes behavior. Behavior changes outcomes. This is how lives transform. Not through sudden inspiration, through sustained order. Order also changes how the world responds to you. People sense reliability. Opportunities move toward those who are prepared. Chaos repels responsibility. Order attracts it. This is why organized individuals are trusted with leadership, resources, and influence. Not because they are superior, but because they are predictable in the right way. Consistency builds credibility. Credibility opens doors. Chaos keeps doors closed. The world does not reward potential, it rewards execution. Order is execution repeated. There is another shift that happens when order becomes stable. You regain mental space. When your life is no longer consumed by disorder, you have room to think deeply, strategically, creatively. Chaos keeps you stuck at the surface. Order allows depth. This is why many people feel lost but busy. They mistake activity for direction. Order reveals direction. Once direction is clear, effort becomes meaningful. Meaning fuels endurance. Endurance builds long-term success. At this stage, chaos loses its grip. Not because life becomes perfect, but because chaos no longer controls your response. Unexpected events still occur, but they no longer derail you. Structure absorbs shock. Like a strong frame, you bend, not break. Discipline creates resilience. This is the final transformation. You stop fearing disruption because your foundation is solid. You know how to return to order quickly. Most people panic when routines break. You rebuild calmly because you understand the process. This is power, not dominance. Stability, the ability to recenter, the ability to act without waiting for emotion, the ability to continue when motivation fades. This is what separates those who rise from those who reset endlessly. Order also forces alignment. You can no longer pretend everything matters equally. Priorities become visible, and painful choices must be made. What stays, what goes, what receives energy. This clarity is uncomfortable, but it is liberating. Life simplifies, not because there is less to do, but because there is less confusion about what matters. Simplicity strengthens execution. Complexity weakens it. Chaos loves complexity. Order thrives in simplicity. This is why disciplined lives often appear boring to outsiders, but boring is stable, and stability builds empires. Chaos looks exciting, but excitement burns out. Order sustains. At the end of this journey, the truth becomes unavoidable. You were never lacking motivation. You were lacking structure. You were never powerless. You were disorganized. And chaos was deciding for you. Every delay, every distraction, every unfinished plan. It was not fate. It was disorder. The moment you choose order, destiny changes direction. Not instantly, but inevitably. Order compounds, just like chaos does. One builds collapse, the other builds control. You do not need to overhaul your entire life at once. You need consistency. One structured morning, one planned day, one finished task. Order is built in increments. Chaos collapses in exposure. The more order you create, the less chaos can survive. Eventually, it has nowhere left to hide. And this is where the decision becomes permanent. You either allow chaos to decide for you, or you decide through order. There is no neutral ground. Life moves forward regardless. The only question is who is directing it. From this point on, you know the cost of disorder and the power of structure. What you do with that knowledge is no longer ignorance. It is choice. If you choose order, you choose authority over your time, your mind, and your future. And once you taste that authority, chaos will never feel comfortable again. If this content made you think, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with your perspective or one habit you need to organize. Your insight adds value to the discussion.